By the end of this video, you will learn how to regulate your emotions like a pro, and that's coming from somebody that used to be an emotional wreck. So these tips are not only going to help you to regulate your emotions, but to work through them properly, as well as not allow your emotions to dictate your actions. So if you are interested, let's get right into it. Hi loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. My name is Tyla and today is all about emotional regulation. Now, emotional regulation is very important because once you know how to better control your emotions and your feelings, nothing will be able to get you out of your element. And a lot of the times when it comes to the feelings and emotions that we have, it's usually stemming from something that is occurring outside of us. So I'm going to give you guys some really great tips and things that's really helped me, especially being somebody that was extremely emotional and kind of would act out of their emotions. The first tip that I want to say is to acknowledge what it is that you're feeling. Whenever you feel an emotion, the worst thing that you can do is try to suppress that emotion, because whatever emotions come up is trying to show you something and is trying to teach you something. That's why a lot of our connections and experiences are so valuable, because once we step out of those connections or those experiences, we come with a newfound sense of value, with boundaries, standards, and just overall experience. So once you feel something, the key thing to do in that moment is to calm yourself down so that you don't react automatically out of that emotion. So acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling. If you just got upset about something, acknowledge that you're upset. If you're sad about something, acknowledge that you are sad. Do not just try to automatically suppress it or distract yourself from the emotion. Allow yourself to actually sit with the emotion for a little bit and understand why you're feeling that way. Now, this is really hard, especially depending on what the emotion is. So say if something got you really upset, it is very hard in that moment to not act out of anger or to just blow up and lash out. Something that helps me in that moment is I just stay quiet. A lot of the times for me personally, I would get really angry, and especially due to some past experiences that I've been through, I developed kind of like anger issues and I would start lashing out the moment something would happen. So what I learned to do is that once I feel those emotions come up, I take a second and I just don't say anything. I keep my mouth shut, I stay quiet, and I allow that emotion to pass. I acknowledge what I'm feeling, but I don't act out of it. Another thing that you can do in that moment when an emotion arises is that you can do something to practice mindfulness. So you can take a couple of deep breaths, you can go and take a walk, you can just sit in silence for a moment. That will really help you as well to not act out of those emotions in that moment, but to allow them to pass while you're acknowledging them. Another important thing to acknowledge when something happens is that once a situation occurs, you cannot take it back. So there's no sense in overreacting about the situation, because that's not going to do anything to help the situation once it's already done. Most of the times you're not going to be able to retake that test unless you can, but what you can do is fully prepare so that you are ready for the next test. When it comes to a situation that's outside of just you and it has to do with somebody else and they're causing emotions within you that are arising, the best thing to do is to really hold your power in those moments, because once you react, you're giving your power away to that person. A lot of the time, we forget that we're still in control of our emotions at the end of the day, and it's really on us how we feel. So yes, somebody can do something to get you upset or to get you frustrated, or something bad can happen in your day that throws you off, but you're still in control of your emotions. And a lot of the time, people just act out of their human characteristics, which is to feel emotional or to lash out or to just react out of their emotions. Our emotions are a really great guide to helping us learn more things about ourselves and just getting a deeper understanding of who we are. So once you can start seeing your emotions from a higher perspective, you'll start understanding how to capitalize off of those emotions and use it to the betterment of you. Something that I do daily is practice mindfulness. So I practice being in the present moment. I do meditations, I do deep breathing exercises, I do things that help me to be present, like journaling, going outside, sitting in nature, or just doing something that helps me to stay focused. Once you start incorporating mindfulness into your day-to-day routine more often, it's going to help ease your stress levels. And so then when things happen in your day, you're not going to get as affected as if you were when you don't practice mindfulness and when you're overly stressed or when you're holding a lot of that negative energy in. So if you're somebody, for example, that is easily agitated, or you have anger issues, or you're very impatient or anxious, I would highly recommend to start incorporating deep breathing exercises into your daily routine. So for me, for example, I will sit 10 to 15 minutes in meditation, just taking deep breaths and just bringing myself to the present moment. When I do this, especially at the start of my day, which is the best time to do it, the rest of my day goes a lot smoother. I'm not as easily bothered by things that happen. I'm not as easily frustrated. I don't get upset about things, and I just overall have a lot more peace. So if you notice that you fall victim to your emotions a lot in different circumstances and you just get very worked up easily and fast, then make sure that you are taking time to work out, that you are getting that energy flowing throughout your body, that you are finding ways to handle your stress better and manage your stress levels, because that's going to really help you to not fall victim to your emotions as easily. Something that I noticed too as well when it comes to properly managing and regulating your emotions is that a lot of the ways that we handle our emotions come from either trauma or it comes from unhealthy coping mechanisms. So say if you had a lot of people to not really hear you out when it came to expressing yourself, that may cause you to become either violent, that may cause you to become destructive when it comes to handling your emotions, that may cause you to act out in unhealthy ways. So you have to acknowledge the ways that you've handled your emotions from even since childhood. So make sure that you're not fearing your emotions as well, because a lot of people, when they have certain emotions come up, they get scared and they don't want to acknowledge it because it may be something really deep. You may be experiencing grief, you may be experiencing depression or sadness. Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to cry. If you're angry, go to like a rage room or something. Go buy a bat and buy like a pumpkin and smash the pumpkin. Like, don't suppress what it is that you're feeling. Make sure that you are acknowledging it. Even if you just have to write a letter or just write it out and write about it, pray about it, speak about it. Whatever you do, make sure that it's in a healthy way and that you're not trying to distract yourself from what you're feeling just because of the fact that it may be a lot to feel. Something too that really helped me is understanding that sometimes people project what they feel onto you. So if somebody is doing something that's purposely upsetting you, or they're just taking out how they feel onto you, do not allow that to dictate how you feel, because at the end of the day, if somebody is in that much of a state of distress or whatever it is that they're going through, that they feel the need to put that energy onto you, just understand that you do not have to get upset about that or feel a way about that, and it has literally nothing to do with you. Some people, they just have nothing better to do than to put their problems and issues onto other people because of the fact that they don't know how to regulate their own emotions and deal with the things that they're going through in their life. Once you start gaining control over your emotions, you become a very powerful person, because that means that there's nothing that anybody can do or say that will shake you or break you. And once you get to that point, there's nothing that can affect you. At the end of the day, things are going to happen in life and we're not always going to be happy or always going to be up or in a positive energy, but it's all about how you work through those emotions and how you handle those emotions. The better that you get at working through your emotions, the faster it is that you can overcome certain things that you experience, and the easier it is for you to be in a happy state, because you know how to constantly bring yourself back to the present and bring yourself back to that peace so that you can stay in an upward motion. But that is it for this video, you guys. I just wanted to come and give you guys a quick video. So if you did enjoy and found it useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to stay tuned for more. Tomorrow I will be doing my journal session, and if you guys don't know, that is a series where we journal together, and tomorrow's prompts are going to be for healing from relationships. So if that's something that you'd be interested, please stay tuned, and I will catch you guys tomorrow in my next video. So peace and much love.
If you become a chef, not be head of state. But my people then go say I know one buy, I know one die.